Hello and welcome back to Sikich Live. Yes, that's right. We are live right now on your computer, and we want you to ask our experts whatever questions that you have. That's why we come to you each week, so that we can make sure that we're answering all of your questions out there in the real world on our Sikich Live each Thursday at 2:30 Central Time, 3:30 Eastern Time. Like I've said before, we love to bring these to your remote work offices, or possibly you are inside of an office currently, and we hope that you're staying safe. But in this new remote world, we love to bring these new live type video, high energy style to your computer. So we hope that we're doing a good job there, and we look forward to having all of you on each live each week. And the only way that you can do that is if you sign up for, if you like and subscribe and sign up for our notifications, so that you can know when we go live each Thursday at 2:30. Okay, so let's really get into it. So more than likely, the majority of people watching have Office 365, which includes a huge repertoire of our modern workplace applications, like the ones you're familiar with, your Word, your PowerPoint, your Excel, etc., and many, many more, including Teams and Yammer. But in a world of security breaches at companies, how do we make all of this private company information secure? Well, I'm really glad to bring on two Sikich colleagues of mine, John Villarreal and Eric Wilkins. Thanks so much for being here today. We really appreciate it. Before we get started into our questions, do you guys mind if you just introduce yourself real quick to the Sikich Live audience?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for everyone for joining us today. My name is John Villarreal. I've been working with Office 365, for the better part of 10 to 15 years. I've been with Sikich for almost 5 years, and the really big topic these days is Office 365 and how we're helping clients get from an on-premise exchange to the cloud. So it's really been a big topic for our clients these days. And today I help our clients, existing clients and new clients, get from point A to point B when it relates to their IT business needs, and Office 365 being one of them.
Awesome, thanks, John. And Eric?
Hey everybody, I'm Eric Wilkins. I'm a network solutions architect with Sikich on the technology side, and started working with Microsoft technologies back in the mid-90s, and with cloud email hosting back in the BPOS days when BPOS first came out, and of course been working with Office 365 since the inception.
Great, well, really appreciate you being on Sikich Live today. So let's just get right into it. We're talking Office 365 and we're talking security today. So what are some, I know a few, but what are some basic security components in Office 365 that everyone needs to know about? What are the kind of main, maybe four that are the most important?
Well, thank you for the question, and that's a great question. The four major components of the security portions, or I should say the basic components for Office 365, is the first being Exchange Online Protection. And basically what EOP is, what we call it, is a cloud-based filtering solution that protects your organization against spam and any kind of malicious malware. So it's definitely an important piece to have under your security umbrella when it comes to Office 365. The second part being advanced threat protection, another super important solution to have within your Office 365 security stack. And basically what that is a cloud-based email filtering solution that helps protect your organization against unknown malware and viruses by providing robust zero-day protection. It has an advanced filtering solution that will scan emails, URLs, and any attachments to detect and identify anything malicious from files, emails, or anything before it hits your mailbox.
Very useful.
The third one is Azure Information Protection. And again, it's a cloud-based solution that helps protect sensitive data. So think of it this way: if you need to send any kind of confidential data, security numbers, whatever it may be, this gives you the ability to encrypt your emails before you send them. So it safeguards that email from user to user or email to email. And then the final one, which is my favorite, is a solution called Multifactor Authentication. We call it MFA. And that's basically a solution that requires multiple forms of verification to prove your identity when you're signing into any application that you use for your day-to-day.
Excellent. So in that multi-factor authentication, that's like at Sikich, we use the Microsoft Authenticator. Is that one of those programs?
Absolutely, it is. It absolutely is. And, you know, it took a little bit to get adjusted to it, but now I love it.
Yeah.
And it's a great tool to use to ensure that you safeguard your application and access to your applications.
Absolutely. I've been enjoying using that too. So, and John, I appreciate the kind of high level overview there of what all those items are. But Eric, I was wondering if we might be able to go a little bit more in detail about the Exchange Online protection, what that looks like, what type of licenses you need for that. How do companies get it into their Office 365 instance that they have now?
Sure. So, like John mentioned, it does spam filtering and malware filtering in your environment. And the nice thing about Exchange Online Protection, or EOP as we always call it, is it's included with any subscription in Office 365 that has a mailbox license associated to it. But you can also purchase it as a standalone license. So if you had Exchange server on premises today, you could actually buy an EOP license. It's only $1 a user per month, and have your email routed through Microsoft, through the Office 365 platform, have it scanned for spam and malware, and then it would be forwarded to your environment. So we've had a lot of clients in the past that have used EOP as kind of a stepping off point to get into the cloud services. So that's a good way to get into Office 365 initially without having to migrate your email over to begin with.
Excellent. And so, and kind of the same question for advanced threat protection. So what I understand is that's really our what catches all of our spam, right?
Right. And it's advanced threat protection is also like EOP, where you can buy it as a standalone product. But if you want to enable it within Office 365, there is a minimal charge for it. It's $2 per user per month. And then some of the Office 365 and Microsoft 365 licensing plans include the ATP license as well. So if you bought, back in April this year, Microsoft released some new Microsoft 365 base plans, and the business premium plan and all the F and E plans in Microsoft 365 include ATP. And then once you get into the Office 365 enterprise plans, it comes with the E5 license. But it does a lot more than what EOP does by itself as far as scanning for malware and viruses. What it does mainly is it will take any attachment that comes in through an email, and it'll open it up in a sandbox area within Office 365. And that way, if that attachment has a virus payload on it, it'll actually recognize that that virus is trying to do something unusual on the system, and it blocks it from attaching to your local network. So anything that were to happen, it's going to happen in that sandbox area of Office 365 and keep your local systems protected. And then the second thing it does is the URL filtering. And Microsoft keeps a huge database on known bad websites. So if somebody tries to send one of your users a URL that has a known domain that's malicious, they'll block that URL from being sent to the user, and the user will get notified that that email was blocked.
So is Exchange Online Protection and Advanced Threat Protection EOP and ATP? Is that what you have one or the other, or you have them both in tandem?
No, you would have them both. EOP is going to be enabled by default in Office 365, and then the ATP is an add-on. And we believe in it so heavily that every implementation we do of Office 365, we just include it. And the client has to have a really good reason for not, because it helps against phishing attacks as well. So the way we configure it is if an email comes in that looks suspicious, like it's trying to gather information from the end user, it'll block those emails as well.
Sure thing. So let's get into the other two that John had mentioned, Azure Information Protection. First off, kind of same questions there. What does that look like? Maybe a little more technical deep dive into it. And then what kind of licenses do is there a general pricing that we can learn about?
Yeah, so the Azure Information Protection, it's just like ATP. It's $2 a user per month. And there's different levels of it that you can purchase, but the one that we get most often for our clients is the one that enables email encryption. So if a user has the need to send encrypted emails, so they might be sending information out to their client base that's HIPAA compliant or something like that, they can encrypt that email message before it gets sent out to the end user. And there's a couple different ways to do that. The way that's probably most common that we do it is we set it up so there's a keyword that the end user just has to put in the subject field. For instance, if they put the word secure in the subject field of an email, it'll automatically encrypt that email and send it out. But there's other ways you can do it. Is you can Microsoft has some built-in policies that you can enable. So if you were a company that falls under HIPAA compliancy, you can actually enable a policy for HIPAA compliance, and anything that pops up within an email, it'll scan the emails outbound. And anything in there, like a social security number, credit card number, any type of formatting that looks like one of those objects, it'll actually automatically encrypt it on the fly, so the end user doesn't have to do anything to initiate it. And a nice thing about AIP is it's by user. So if you had a couple hundred people in your environment, but only your accounting people or only your C-level execs needed to send encrypted emails, you can just purchase that license for them. You don't have to license it for everybody in the organization.
Oh, great. Yeah, that's a nice feature to have for companies that are trying to save money.
Yeah, and kind of like ATP as well. It's already built into some of the other licenses that you get that most companies purchase anyway. So most of the time, there's not an add-on cost for end users because it's already built into the license they already have.
Absolutely. So this last security feature that I kind of talked about a little bit before that John mentioned, the multi-factor authentication. What does that look like? Why is it so important to have, the two different logins to verify identity and things like that? And what does Microsoft have that makes it easy to have multi-factor authentication?
Yeah, so since this is cloud technology and it's accessed through a browser, everybody knows what your email address is, right? So that's public information. You send it out multiple avenues. So the only thing a user or somebody that's trying to break into your account will need is that password. So they could open up a browser or go to the Office 365 portal site, key in your email address, and if they had your password, they can get right in. So the people out there that are trying to maliciously do damage they have the tool set up to just randomly generate passwords, and they just sit there and run it against your environment and try to hack in and do damage to you or your company. Mm-hmm. So the multi-factor authentication allows you to set it up, and it's actually free with the Office 365 subscription because it's built into the Azure AD that you get when you create your tenant. So there's no extra charge for it, which is really nice. But what it will do is you can set it up a couple different ways. You can set it up to use the Microsoft Authenticator app that you guys were talking about earlier. Mm-hmm. And that's just an app you download on your phone for free. And when you log into your Outlook for the first time, it's going to pop up that app on your phone, and you just click approve, and then let you in. And that's going to protect users' email, because somebody would have to have their phone to be able to get in and access their email. And the other two ways to do it is you can have it send a text message, or you can have it just call their cell phone. So either of those three options are really easy solutions to use. And it's just a really good way to keep people from hacking in and guessing your password and getting into your email.
Great, yeah.
Hey, Michael, I have a question with
Sure.
MFA. So I'm just curious. I use mine with the push. It sends me a text message with the code. But how do you guys use yours at your home offices?
Oh, I use mine. It pops up on my screen right here, and I just click it right in my phone, and then I press approve.
All right.
Yeah, really easy.
It is super easy.
Yeah, and the really nice feature of it is once you do it the first time, you don't have to do the multi-factor every time you get into Outlook. What it's going to do is it's going to cache that information on your local system. So as long as you're on that same device, like your same laptop or desktop machine, you don't have to keep doing the re-authentication. The only time it's going to reset is when you change your Office 365 password, or of course if you change devices, because it's going to lose that cache. So you'd have to re-authenticate again. And that really comes in handy, because everybody really gets irritated with the multi-factor. With a lot of different websites use it, so it can be kind of irritating. But that's a good way to get around that. There's also another product out there. You can buy a Azure Active Directory Premium Plan 1 license, and with that license, you can actually go in and whitelist your local network IP scheme. So if you were in once everybody hopefully gets back to their offices soon and starts working, you could have that local network whitelisted, so it would never do multi-factor as long as the user was accessing Office 365 from their local network.
Oh.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a lot of organizations like that, because we've had a few clients in the past that they don't allow users to use their personal cell phones in the office.
Oh,
So
right.
that kind of makes it hard to do the multi-factor. So they get around that by purchasing that AD Premium Plan 1 license.
No, I'm glad you mentioned that. I didn't know that. That's great.
Yeah.
Excellent. So, we talked about all those very basic, the most important components of Office 365. But now people are thinking, okay, where do I go next? What do I do next? John, I know you are a customer service expert. You're the guy that I would go to if I need to know, how to get this all implemented and make sure it's working correctly. What are our next steps?
Yeah, exactly, Michael. Our next steps would be contacting myself, John Villarreal, or Eric Wilkins, or even Michael for that matter. Connect with us on LinkedIn. Send us a LinkedIn connection invite. You can email sikich.com, or you can go to our website or give us a call. One cool feature that I love about our website is that you can even go onto our website and chat with a live agent. You can ask for Michael DeGeeter. You can ask for Eric Wilkins. You can ask for myself. And they'll put you in contact with us, or at least point you in the right direction. So basically, when we do make the connection, we would get started with just a really simple, quick, short security assessment within your current Office 365 environment. And it's really short, maybe 2 to 3 hours tops engagement with you and your team, with Eric and one of our Office 365 engineers, to kind of outline your organizational security needs, scope it out, and make recommendations. Listen, folks, Sikich IT Solutions team is well equipped to handle any size environment. Sikich is a long-lasting gold partner and cloud service provider, and we've helped over hundreds upon hundreds of companies around the world and across all industries to implement the full Office 365 stack, including the security pieces we've been talking about, but not to mention the team system, chat, meetings, collaboration, SharePoint, file storage, email, and on top of all that, we can deploy a Microsoft phone system for you guys as well.
Mm-hmm.
We've deployed over 200,000 seats in CSP completed over 500 cloud migrations, and have over 1,000 Microsoft Cloud clients. My team of experts will work with you from start to finish to understand your needs, from scoping to designing, planning, and the full implementation to the Microsoft Cloud platform. So if anyone's out there that needs help with Office 365, whatever it may be, definitely look for Sikich to be a partner. Like I mentioned, well equipped and ready and able to help you guys out. And lastly, if anyone out there is still running on Exchange 2010, it is going to reach its end of life coming this October.
Right.
So if you are, give us a call and we can help you out and transition you over to Microsoft's cloud for email.
Excellent. Well, thanks so much, Eric and John. Hopefully you guys will be back again sometime. Yes. We will, like I said before, make sure to like and subscribe so that you're getting these notifications to join us each Thursday at 2:30 Central Time. We will see you next week. Next week is
Mike, I'm sorry to interrupt. There's one little bit of information that I wanted to share that I think is really important that I've learned. So as I continue to gain knowledge and learn more about Office 365 and the stack and all the security portions, I just want everyone out there to just kind of listen to this. So I learned that 100 million identities are attacked and over 50,000 corporate identities are compromised each month. So just by utilizing Azure Information Protection, Advanced Threat Protection, EOP, that alone will just greatly reduce your organization's security risks. So just something to think about, food for thought, if you will.
Oh boy, spooky stats there. But yeah, thanks, John, for that. But thanks again, everybody, for joining. Thanks again, Eric and John. Like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week, 2:30 Central Time, right here on LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook. Bye, everybody.